Hello everyone, my name is Khushbu Parikh and welcome to you to my YouTube channel, the ielts channel. In this channel, we'll discuss the ielts listening crash course at the free cost. So let's discuss the ielts listening test first. So the ielts listening test is consist of the 30 minutes. So you have a pre-recorded audio that is all about the 30 minutes and you have to solve the 40 questions for it. 40 questions are given. The audio will be played only once. At one stretch, you have to listen the audio for 30 minutes and you have to solve 40 questions. That is compulsory. Okay? And you will hear this recording only once. You cannot rewind it again. You cannot repeat it again. You cannot stop it again. Whatever you have to listen at one stretch. Okay? Okay, write your answer on the question paper and then you have 10 minutes time to transfer the answer into the answer sheet. So IELTS basically if you have opt for the pen paper based test, at that time you have 30 minutes time to listen the audio and whatever you have listened you have transfer in the question paper. After that they will give you 10 minutes extra time to transfer the answers into the answer sheet. But if you have opt for the CBT, that is a computer based test for the listening, at that time they'll give you 2 to 3 minutes time to review the questions and the answer. The recordings and the questions get more difficult as the test progresses. So that depends on the which kind of topic you have the section wise. Okay, so 40 questions they have divided in the 4 section. Let's see in each section which kind of question type and what the description we have. So for the section 1, we have a 2 speakers having an everyday conversation. Most of the time you'll get the 2 speakers conversation with each other, like the example the student and the teacher's conversation. So the teacher is asking certain questions to the students like the name, age, course, okay, the address and the telephone number. Or sometimes you have the example of making plans for the weekend or discussing where to get dinner that evening. The basic conversation that we have can seen in the each and everyday's life between 2 speaker only 2 speaker are going to discuss the topic, that is called the conversation. In the section 2 you have the monologue. Okay, so monologue is the new word for you. Monologue means there is only one person who is going to talk about a particular topic. Like the example that is also based on the everyday situation. Like the example giving the information about the events in the community. So they're just talking about some information, which event is going to, which communities are take part, which kind of description we have regarding that community. So this is given by the only one speaker. So that is called the monologue. Okay, so that is fixed for section 2. So if you can see any of the Cambridge listening test, you can see the same stuff, and in the exam in this way they have divided certain sections. Okay, let's see the section number 3. In the section number 3, you have the academic conversation between 3 to 4 people, or you can say it's a group discussion. That group discussion basically on the academic topic. Like the example, group of discussion on your academic studies. Like students have to make some presentation on the psychology, students have to make presentation on some any science topic. So 3 or more people over there. So here you have to be very attentive because the 3 or 4 people are talking to each other regarding any topic. So at that time you have to focus on each and every person's views. Let's see the section number 4. In the section number 4, you have the monologue on the academic topic, or you can say it's a speech on any topic. So over here also one person is going to talk about one topic, like the example they're talking about the pollution, talking about the psychology, talking about nanotechnology, talking about any diseases like the any disease, or you can say the autism, any disorder, right? So in the section 4 you have only one speaker who is going to talk about only one talk, or you can say it's a monologue. But make sure that you can see the same information that we have discussed for each and every section. This information you can see in any Cambridge listening test. So over here we have discussed the basic listening test, duration, questions and the 4 sections. Now we'll see which kind of question types we'll have in the next exam. Let's discuss the types of the questions. So individual section you have 10 questions. Sometimes they have divided that 10 question within the 551. Like the example for question 10 to 15, you have MCQ. Then from 16 to 20, you have fill in the blanks. Okay, so that is not fixed for each and every question paper, but at last you have to solve the 40 questions, and we'll discuss certain task type. So this task type will be reflected in the IELTS test. Okay, let's see the first one. If you have notes, summary, table, or the flowchart completion, what you have to do, complete that given task with the suitable word or the words within the word limit. Okay, like for the notes or the summary, what you have, one sentence is given and the blank is given. You have to fill the answer within that blank, and you have to focus on the certain instruction that is given for that. For the table, what you have, the rows and the columns are given like a table. Okay, certain names are given and certain blanks are given. So with the help of the given information, you have to find the answer. Okay, so in the next category, we have to solve a listening test together. So in that, we have reflected all the question type and the discussion, and we'll discuss the strategies and how to do that answer, the exact approach for it. So at that moment, you have a clear idea about it. Okay, for the flow chart, what do you mean by flow chart? Some instructions are given in the sequential order. Okay, so here also the sentence is given, blank is given, and you have to fill that blank with the given information. Okay, within the different question types, you have the different instructions, so you have to focus on the instruction also. Let's say the next category is the multiple choice question. Multiple choice is called the MCQ. One question is given and three options are given. You have to choose the one answer from it. Sometimes one question is given and A to E certain options are given, and you have to choose two options for it. So if you want to opt for the two options or two answers, they have written clearly, write down two answers. Okay. Let's see the third category is the short answer question. Question is given and you have to write the answer, just answer. Okay, and you have to focus on the certain instruction. Sentence completion. Sentence completion, that means one sentence is given, that is half, and the half sentence you have to fill with the given instruction within one word, two words, or three words. Sometimes what happen for the sentence completion? Sentence completion is given and downward one list of sentences are given. Like the example 11 to 15, we have the different sentences given, and in the list of the table from A to E certain lines are given. Okay, so from that table you have to choose your answer, and you have to write whether it is A, B, C, D or E with the given number 11 to 15. Okay, now next is labeling the diagram, plan and the map. Here whatever the diagram, map you have given, certain blanks are given, sometimes the alphabets are given. So with the help of the given information, you have to choose the suitable answer. So when we solve it together, you have a clear idea about how to solve, label the diagram, how to solve plan, how to solve the map. Okay, let's see the matching one. Match a list of statements to a list of people, like the example dates, people, theory and the researcher. So the researcher names are given and what they have researched, that is also given. So from 11, 12, 13, the name of the researcher are given, and downward from A to E, what they have researched, that is given. So in the recording you have to focus on the researcher name as well as what they have researched. So if in the 11 your answer would be B, that the what they have researched, write down the B in the 11th answer. Okay, so that will solve together. At that time you have a clear idea, but as of now we have discussed the different question types. Let's do the revision of it. Notes, summary, table and the flowchart completion is the one category. Second category is the multiple choice, short answer questions, sentence completion, labeling, diagram, plan and the map, and the matching. Let's see the chart of the IELTS band score. So if you'll get the marks between 18 to 22, you'll get the 5.5. For actual universities, they have make certain criteria that in each 6 is important. Okay, so minimum criteria they have make it as 6. So you have to get marks between 23 to 25 out of 40. So you'll reach at the 6. Otherwise, the as much as you can get, the band score will be improved. Okay, so you have to aim high for the listening test, because this is quite scoring also, and you cannot say it's easy, but that is somehow scoring. So if you score more in the listening test, your overall score will be improved. Okay, as well as I have just shown you the answer sheet of the IELTS listening test. So this kind of answer sheet will be there in the test. Here you have to write the center number is written. You have to write the center number over here, and you have to write your full name over here with the help of this, the test date, day and the month and the year. Okay, and 1 to 40 questions, the numbers are written like this. Whatever the answer should be, you have to fill with the given blanks. Okay, and the score will be given by the examiner, will be here. Okay, let's start with the listening tips. Let's do the discussion of the valuable listening tips. Let's start with the tip number 1. Tip number 1, the recording will be played once only, so you will not hear it the second time. You cannot stop again, you cannot rewind it again. At 30 minutes, that means at one stretch, you have to hear the recording and you have to solve the 40 questions in the listening test. Okay, fine. Now let's see the tip number 2. You will have to be multitask. Must be able to read the question, listen the answer, and write down the words all at the same time. So you have to listen the audio tracks, you have to see the questions, you have to see how to solve the questions, the approach and the strategies. But afterwards, if you have opt for the pen paper based IELTS test, you have 10 minutes time to transfer the answer into the answer sheet, and at that moment you can focus on, okay, some sentences or words I have written initially in the question paper, I can write my answer with the help of these sentences. Okay, so in the second tip, what we are talking about, you have to be multitask. Okay, now the third tip is, write your all answer with the pencil and write your all answer in the capital letters. Okay, so you have to use pencil that is predefined by them. Okay, and write your all answer in the capital letters. This is mandatory. Why? Because sometimes what happen, if we have in a question number 1, first blank is given, so the first letter always should be capital, but in the hurry if I have written small, so my answer would be wrong. Okay, so I have to save my one mark. Okay, to get the maximum band, I have to get the maximum listening in the test band. So for that I have to write all my answer in the capital letters. Okay, the fourth is, read the instruction before attempting any questions. So when they are just starting with the audio script, they are telling you, okay, you have 3 seconds time to see the instruction, to see the question. At that time, you have to underline this instruction. Whatever they have given, no more than one word or a number, no more than 2 words, no more than 3 words. Okay. Now let's see the tip number 5. Spellings must be correct. Okay, even though you have cracked the right answer, but your E is looking like A and your C is looking like E. So if your spelling is also not readable or in spelling is wrong, so your answer is wrong. So check your spellings when you transfer the answers to the answer sheet. So at that time you have to check your spelling errors too, and you have to write very precisely. Okay, let's see the test. Tip number 6. Answers appear in the order section wise. That means first we have section 1, then 2, then 3 and 4. And if they have divided in the subcategory, like 1 to 5 you have MCQ, 6 to 10 you have a table kind of question. Okay, so everything that is given in the sequential way, they come quickly with the large gap between them. Give 5-10 seconds. So before starting any new section or any new question type, they will give you 3 to 5 seconds to review the question, to see the questions. Okay. Number 7, watch out our singular and the plural answers. Okay, sometimes what happen, in the answer sheet both answers they have written singular and the plural, but in the audio if they are talking about only singular one, so answer is only singular, and if they are talking about the plural one, so answer is the plural. So when we solve the listening test together, we have a clear idea that how to write answer and what is the exact approach. Okay, let's see the 8 number. How words will be calculated. Like the example, your date is like date and 2023, the number is given, so this calculated as a one number. Okay, if 1991 is given, so this calculated a one word number. If you have a large number like this, so it will be calculated as a one word. Okay, fine. If the hyphenated word are given like a part time, they calculate as a one word, or compound noun like a tennis shoes, so this is two words. Part time, if hyphenated is given, so it's a one word. We'll give the another example as the directions are east west, so east dash west, so this is only calculated as a one word. For a compound noun like tennis shoes, they have calculated two words. Tennis is one word, shoes the other word, two words. Okay, so this is a way to calculate the words, but you don't have to focus on that. You have to just focus on the instruction. Okay, what is written, write down one word, two words, and whatever the correct answer, that you have to correct and write the answer. Okay, let's see the 9 number. Different prepositions dictate the different answers. So your prepositions are at, in, and on. Okay, so for at when will use the at, when I have to indicate the time. Okay, indicate the time, part of the day, part of the place. So like the example at 12 p.m. at the dawn, or at the hospital, at that time we have to use at. So if at is given and afterwards the blank is given, so I have to be very sure that in that blank you have the time, or a part of day, or a place. This is just a guesswork. Okay, and that is related to our grammatical rules too. If you have a in proportion and afterward you have blank, so you have to focus on the period of time, month, year, and the season. Like the example, in 3 days, in 3 months, in the years, in the April, or in the summer. So if in is given before blank, so in the blank you have to fill period of time, or a month, or a year, or the season. Understood? Let's see the next. On. The preposition on. So on is given and afterwards the blank is given. So what you have to focus on the day and date of example, like on Friday, on 24th March, okay, on particular day. Okay, so if on is given and afterward the blank, so you have to focus on the day and the date. Okay, so we have discussed almost the rules of the grammar as well as the listening tips, that is actually really important for the listening test. Now we'll do one listening test together, so you have a clear picture for it. Now let's discuss the most important word for the listening test is the signpost. So signpost is the new word for you, so let's discuss it in the detail. What do you mean by the signpost and how will we use it? The signposting expressions are actually really important. And what do you mean by the signpost? The words and the phrases that people use in order to guide the listener coherently through what is being said. So, whatever the words and the phrases they have used as a speaker, we have a clear idea that the speaker is going to talk about which topic. Like the example, the purpose is introducing the topic of the lecture. Okay, so at that moment, the signpost language is, today we are going to talk about this topic. So today we are going to talk about this topic. So I have a clear idea, okay, they are talking about which topic. Okay, or else they can use, the topic of today's lecture is, this morning we are going to take a look at, today I'll be talking about discussing what I am going to talking about today is, and the purpose of the today's lecture. So ultimately, when the lecture wants to introduce the topic, they'll just tell you this kind of signpost language, and with the help of this signpost language, you can see the exact topic name of your section, or you can say a lecture's topic name, and you can predict the name of the topic. Okay, let's see the next what we have. Explaining the lecture structure with the section and the subtopics. So if they want to talk about, like they have certain sections and the subtopics, at that time which kind of language they'll use. In today's lecture I am going to cover 3 parts, so they'll cover 3 parts, so you have to focus on individual parts. I'm going to divide this topic or this talk into 3 parts, 3 category. First we'll look at this category, then the next category, then we'll go on to the next topic, and we'll finally cover all the topic. So if they'll focus on, okay, I'm going to divide this talk into three sections, so we have to be very attentive and aware, like, okay, this talk contains three topics, so we have to focus on the individual topics. Okay, so with the signpost language, we'll just predict which kind of lecture is delivered in the given audio script. Okay, the next category is the finishing a section. So when we can understand, okay, they have finished the section, so the signpost language is, we have look at this and I have talk about this, so we can understand, okay, this is the finishing a section or this is the end of the section. And most of the time they'll tell you, okay, this is the end of your listening test and this is the end of this section, now we'll move to the next section. Okay, let's say they're starting a new section, what they'll use, let's move on to, and let's turn to, like, and I would now like to talk about the next section, I would like to discuss about this thing. Okay, to introduce a new section or the new topic. Okay, now end of the talk and the summing up, as we have discussed earlier, they will use like to sum up, or so it is clear that I would like now to recap, let's summarize briefly what we have looked at, or in the conclusion and the overall. So with the help of this signpost language, you can understand, okay, this is the end of the talk and the speaker is now summing up, and they just tell you about the conclusion of the given lecture and the conclusion of the given topic. Now the last, if they have to add some main idea, how they will add it, they can start like, what I want to talk about today. So I have to just focus on, okay, this is the main idea of your lecture, what we really need to discuss today. Today we'll be discussing this topic, the point will be addressing today's, and today's lecture will focus on what. So this help you to understand the main idea of the given lecture. Okay, let's start with the example first. In the section 1, we have questions 1 to 10. So 10 questions we have to solve, and our category is complete the table below. So it's the table completion kind of exercise. Over here, let's see the instruction first. It's a one word or a number. So whatever the answer should be within one word or a number allowed. Okay, let's see the title first. The title is the cookery class. Okay, and now let's see the name of the columns first. Cookery class, focus, and the other information. Okay, let's see the first example that is done by them. The food is written and dash is given. So the food studio is the name of the cookery class that is given as an example. Okay, so food studio is the cookery class name. With the help of this, we can find our answer 1 and 2. Let's see the question number 1. How to dash and cook with the seasonal product. How to dash and cook with the seasonal product. So within that dash, you have to fill the answer. When you have blank and before that you have TO2, so in the blank you have to put the verb. Okay, this is the first hint for this example. Second is and is written. Okay, after blank and is written, and after and cook. Cook is what? To be form of cook. So to be form of verb, that means it is a verb. So if one blank is given, and is given, and afterward verb is given, so verb is given after and, so in the blank also the answer would be verb. Okay, the another example, blank is given and some noun is given. Okay, so in the previous blank you have to put noun. So if we want to compare two things, I have to take the similar one, so that's why I have used the connector and. Okay, got my point? So over here the hint, we'll get the two hint over here. How to dash, how to dash and the cook. So to after, if we'll have blank, is that in blank you have to put the verb form. Okay, this is the blank rule number 1, grammatical rule number 1. And after and whatever we have before blank, we have to put that one. Okay, let's see the second one. For the other information, the small classes is given, also offers dash classes. Okay, for the food studio, they have provided small classes as well as offers dash classes. So which kind of classes that you have to focus over here? Okay, let's see the third one. Clients who return get a dash discount. Clients who return get a dash discount. Which kind of discount? Okay, how many percentage? So here if you have the discount percentage, you have to write within a number. Clear? Let's go with the next one. It's a Bonds Cookery School. For that I have to focus on the fourth number. Food that is dash, food that is yummy, food that is healthy. So food for that Bonds Cookery School I have to focus. So my keyword is over here Bonds Cookery School and which kind of food they are providing. Okay, let's see the fifth number. Includes recipes to strengthen your dash. That includes a recipe for what? Bonds Cookery School. That includes a recipe to strengthen your bones, strengthen your dash muscles, strengthen your what. So now you have to put in the fifth fill in the blank. Okay, let's see the sixth number. They have a free dash every Thursday. So they have a free class, they have a free demonstration, they have a free session. Okay, so we have to predict the answers like that to crack the actual answer. So when you have the listening recording, you have to just focus on the certain keywords that we have discussed. So for the sixth number, what you have to focus, the Bonds Cookery School, plus they have a free dash on Thursday. Thursday is the main keyword and the free. Okay, let's see the seven number. Seven number is somehow challenging because here we don't know the name of the cookery class or the name of the cookery center. Okay, so we have to write it down the name for it. So here you have to be very careful. So first you have to focus on the name of the cookery class, then you have to focus on mainly dash food. Which kind of food? Indian food, continental food, which kind of food, healthy food. Okay, so I'm just predicting the answers. So when I listen the recordings, I have a clear idea that what I have to focus first. Okay, so mainly dash food, which kind of food that I have to focus on this. Okay, located near the dash. Located, that means the location. Located near the dash, located near any place. So when you have to use location or the located, we have to focus on the place. Located near the hospital, located near the school, located near the mall. Okay, where it is located. So WH question, where you have to focus, right? Let's see the next. A special course in skills with a dash is sometimes available. Let's read it again. A special course in skills with a dash is sometimes available. So here you have to focus on the special course as well as what it is available for sometimes. Okay, it's done. You are solving this listening test for the first time. So at the initial level, I have shared the question as well as the audio script to you. Okay, first I'll explain the audio script with the given questions, and afterwards I'll play the section 1's audio. At that time you have to just focus on the listening. Okay, let's get started with the audio script. Okay, they'll start it like this. Official, hello. Hello, Tourist Information Center, Mike speaking. How can I help you? Oh, hi. I wanted to find about the cookery class. I believe there are some one-day classes for the tourist. Well, they are new, open to everyone, but the tourists are always welcome. Okay, let me give you some details of the what's available. There are several classes. One is the very popular is the food studio. Okay, so food studio is our first keyword that we have discussed earlier. That food studio they have given to us as an example. So we reach at our keyword that is food studio. So at that moment you have to be very attentive because first question, second and the third question. The first one, second and the third. These three answers are related to that food studio itself. Okay, so let's see what the next day are talking about. Okay, they focus on the seasonal products and as well as teaching you how to cook them, and they also show you how to choose them. Okay, how to cook them and how to choose them. So here cook is given, seasonal products are given. So as we have discussed, cook is a verb, and before that and is written, and before that in the blank we have to give the answer. So cook is given over here. Cook and choose. Choose is also verb. So answer number first is choose. Okay, let's see the next. Right, that sounds good. How big are the classes? I'm not sure exactly, but they'll be quite small. And could I get a private lesson there? Okay, the classes are small, that I heard. And could I get a private lesson there? Also offers dash classes. I think so. Let me check. Yes, they do offer those. So, could I get a private classes? So, yes, they do offer those. So, my answer over here is private. Okay, let's see the third one and let's see the transcript first. I think so. Let me check. Yes, they do offer those. Though, in fact, most of the people who attend the classes find it is a nice way to getting to know one another. I suppose it must be yes. And this company has a special deal for the clients where they offer 20% discount if you return for further class. Yes, clients who return get a dash discount. So is given return is given over here, discount is written over here, discount is there, so number is 20, so 20% discount, so answer is 20%. Okay, let's see the next one. Okay, but you said there were several classes. That's right. Another one, you might be interested in the Bond's Cookery School. So see, Bond Cookery School, we'll see the keyword over Bond's Cookery School. This is our keyword for the question number 4, 5 and 6. That's right. Another way, one you might to be interested in the Bond's Cookery School. They are quite new and just opened 6 months ago, but I have heard good things about them. They concentrate on the teaching you to prepare healthy food and they have quite a lot of specialist staff. So concentrate on teaching you to prepare healthy food. Food that is what? Food that is healthy. So I get the answer of the fourth number. In the continuation of this audio script, let's see for that Bond's Cookery School. We get the answer of fourth number. Now we're talking about the fifth and the sixth for the Bond's Cookery School. What is the audio script over here? So that is food for people on the diet and the things like that. I don't know if I would be interested in that. Well, I don't think they particularly focus on the low calorie diets or the weight loss. It's more to do with the recipes that look at specific needs, like including ingredients that will help to build up your bones and make them stronger and that sort of thing. So, build up your bones. Over here, we have discussed that includes the recipe to strengthen your what? Build up and the strengthen both are the similar word. So, strengthen your dash, build up your bones. So, our fifth answer is bones. Okay, let's see the next. I see. Well, I might be interested and I'm not sure. Do they have a website? I could check. Yes, just key in the name of the school, it will come up. And if you want to know more about them, every Thursday evening, yes, so every Thursday we'll get it. Okay, every Thursday evening they have a lecture at the school. They have a free dash every Thursday, so the lecture, but I have to focus whether it is free or not. Yeah, it is free and you don't need to book anything. Just turn up at 7:30 and you might give a idea whether you want to go to an actual class. So we found our two answers, fifth and sixth, with the help of the Bond's Cookery School. Now the seventh is somehow challenging. After getting the lecture answer, you have to be very attentive because I have to focus on the name of the cookery class over here, which center it is. Okay, so let's see. Okay, there's one more place you might be interested in that's got a rather strange name. It is called the Aresta. So they just spell the Aresta, that is ARRETSA. Okay, they have a very good reputation. They do a bit meat and the fish cookery, but mostly specialize in the vegetarian dishes. Okay, so till that we have not get the idea about the particular center or the cookery class. They have not mentioned. They have just mentioned one more place. It is called the Aresta. So the Aresta is the answer because they have not mentioned the other stuff. Okay, yes. Now we have to focus on mainly dash food, which kind of food, as we have discussed over here. They do a bit of meat and the fishery cook, but the mostly specialized is equal to the mainly. Yeah, so mainly and the most specialized both are the synonym. After our answer, and after that they have written food. So what is our answer? Answer is the vegetarian. Okay, so eighth answer is vegetarian. Let's see the next what they have written. Right, that's certainly an area I would like to learn more about. I have got lots of friends and who don't eat meat. In fact, I think I might have seen that the school today. It is just by the market. Okay, so located near where? So this is located near. I think I might have seen that school today. It's just by the market. By the market, located near the market. So my answer is market. Okay, let's see the next. That's right. So they don't have any problem getting their ingredients and they are right next door, and they also offer a special 2 hour course in how to use a knife. They cover all the different skills for it. So you have to focus a special course. Yes, they are talking about the special course over here, where it is written special 2 hour course and the special course both are same in skills with a dash sometimes available. So how to use the knife, it's sometimes available. They cover all the different skills. So our answer is what? Knife. So we have solved section 1 questions 1 to 10. I have talked about the audio script, along with that the questions are given, and we have discussed the audio script and the question answer, right? Now I'm playing the section 1 listening Cambridge audio. This test I have taken by the Cambridge 13 test 1. So I'll play the section 1 now.
Cambridge English, IELTS 13, Tests 1 to 4. Published by Cambridge University Press and Uckles, 2018. This recording is copyright. CD 1. Test 1. You will hear a number of different recordings, and you will have to answer questions on what you hear. There will be time for you to read the instructions and questions, and you will have a chance to check your work. All the recordings will be played once only. The test is in 4 sections. At the end of the test, you will be given 10 minutes to transfer your answers to an answer sheet. Now turn to section 1. Section 1. You will hear a telephone conversation between a woman who wants to attend a cookery class and an official at a tourist information centre. First, you have some time to look at questions 1 to 6. You will see that there is an example that has been done for you. On this occasion only, the conversation relating to this will be played first.
Hello, Tourist Information Centre. Mike speaking. How can I help you?
Oh, hi. I wanted to find out about cookery classes. I believe there are some one-day classes for tourists.
Well, they're open to everyone, but tourists are always welcome. OK, let me give you some details of what's available. There are several classes. One very popular one is at the food studio.
The first cooking class is at the food studio, so studio has been written in the space. Now we shall begin. You should answer the questions as you listen, because you will not hear the recording a second time. Listen carefully and answer questions 1 to 6.
Hello, Tourist Information Centre. Mike speaking. How can I help you?
Oh, hi. I wanted to find out about cookery classes. I believe there are some one-day classes for tourists.
Well, they're open to everyone, but tourists are always welcome. OK, let me give you some details of what's available. There are several classes. One very popular one is at the food studio.
Okay.
They focus on seasonal products, and as well as teaching you how to cook them, they also show you how to choose them.
Right, that sounds good. How big are the classes?
I'm not sure exactly, but they'll be quite small.
And could I get a private lesson there?
I think so. Let me check. Yes, they do offer those. Though, in fact, most of the people who attend the classes find it's a nice way of getting to know one another.
I suppose it must be, yes.
And this company has a special deal for clients where they offer a discount of 20% if you return for a further class.
Okay, but you said there were several classes.
That's right. Another one you might be interested in is Bond's Cookery School. They're quite new. They just opened 6 months ago, but I've heard good things about them. They concentrate on teaching you to prepare healthy food, and they have quite a lot of specialist staff.
So is that food for people on a diet and things like that? I don't know if I'd be interested in that.
Well, I don't think they particularly focus on low-calorie diets or weight loss. It's more to do with recipes that look at specific needs, like including ingredients that will help build up your bones and make them stronger, that sort of thing.
I see. Well, I might be interested. I'm not sure. Do they have a website I could check?
Yes, just key in the name of the school. It'll come up. And if you want to know more about them, every Thursday evening they have a lecture at the school. It's free, and you don't need to book or anything. Just turn up at 7:30. And that might give you an idea of whether you want to go to an actual class.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you have some time to look at questions 7 to 10. Now listen and answer questions 7 to 10.
OK, there's one more place you might be interested in. That's got a rather strange name. It's called the Ielts Centre. That's spelled Arretsa.
Okay.
They've got a very good reputation. They do a bit of meat and fish cookery, but they mostly specialise in vegetarian dishes.
Right. That's certainly an area I'd like to learn more about. I've got lots of friends who don't eat meat. In fact, I think I might have seen that school today. Is it just by the market?
That's right. So they don't have any problem getting their ingredients. They're right next door. And they also offer a special 2-hour course in how to use a knife. They cover all the different skills, buying them, sharpening, chopping techniques. It gets booked up quickly, though, so you'd need to check it was available.
Right. Well, thank you very much. I'll go and check that out.
That is the end of section 1. You now have half a minute to check your answers.
Yes, everyone, how's your section 1? Please do comments in the comment box. Let's start with the section 2. In the section 2, the questions 11 to 20 they have given, but they have subdivided the question 11 to 13. So this category is the MCQ, multiple choice question. One question is given, 3 options are given, and you have to choose only one answer over here. Choose the correct letter A, B, C, and your topic is the traffic changes in the Grenfell. Let's see the question number 11. Why are changes needed to traffic system in the Grenfell? So I have to focus on in the Grenfell, why are the changes needed improve the traffic system. So I have to focus on the changes and why they are needed. So let's see the option over here. The number of traffic accidents has arisen because of the traffic accidents, or you can focus on the amount of traffic on the roads. Okay, the type of the vehicles on the roads have changed or not. So you have to focus on the three stuff. Why are the changes needed for the first traffic accident? Then the roads amount of traffic on the roads has increased, and the types of vehicles on the roads have changed. So when you have a question paper, and when they'll give you 2 to 3 seconds time or maximum 5 seconds time to review the question, at that moment I have to read the question like this, and I have to see the option and what are the main keywords that I have to underline. So when I listen the audio, at that moment I just focus on the main keywords, don't need to read the question at that time. Okay, let's see the next question, 12 number. In a survey, local residents particularly complain about. So you have to focus on the local residents, why they are complaining. So the reasons are dangerous driving by the parents, okay, pollution from the trucks and lorries, or inconvenience from the parked cars. So just focus on, in a survey local residents particularly complain about. So you have to just focus on why the local residents complaining about. Don't focus on the other stuff, just focus on why they are complaining, why local residents complaining. Just listen that, focus more. Don't see the option right now, just focus more. After hearing this, you can tick mark the option easily. Okay, let's see the 30 number. According to the speaker, one problem will the new regulations will be what? So for the new regulation, what is the problem? One problem they're talking about. Raising money to pay for them, finding a way to make people follow them, or getting the support of the police. Okay, so just focus on the what is the new regulations, one problem, and three options are given. Don't focus on the option right now. We have just seen the keywords. Just focus on what is the new problem for the new regulation. Okay, so if you focus on the particular keywords and the question main type, or you can say the main idea, you will solve all the MCQs right. Let's get started. I'll play the recording and try to solve 3 on 3.
Section 2. You will hear the chairman of the Highways Committee of Granford speaking to members of the public about proposed changes to traffic and parking in the area. First, you have some time to look at questions 11 to 13. Now listen carefully and answer questions 11 to 13.
Good evening, everyone. My name's Phil Sutton, and I'm chairman of the Highways Committee. We've called this meeting to inform members of the public about the new regulations for traffic and parking we're proposing for Granford. I'll start by summarising these changes before we open the meeting to questions. So, why do we need to make these changes to traffic systems in Granford? Well, we're very aware that traffic is becoming an increasing problem. It's been especially noticeable with the increase in heavy traffic while they've been building the new hospital. But it's the overall rise in the volume of traffic of all kinds that's concerning us. To date, there's not been any increase in traffic accidents, but that's not something we want to see happen, obviously. We recently carried out a survey of local residents, and their responses were interesting. People were very concerned about the lack of visibility on some roads due to cars parked along the sides of the roads. We'd expected complaints about the congestion near the school when parents are dropping off their children or picking them up. But this wasn't top of the list, and nor were noise and fumes from trucks and lorries, though they were mentioned by some people. We think these new traffic regulations would make a lot of difference, but we still have a long way to go. We've managed to keep our proposals within budget, so they can be covered by the council. But of course it's no good introducing new regulations if we don't have a way of making sure that everyone obeys them. And that's an area we're still working on with the help of representatives from the police force.
Okay, so you have solved the section 2. Okay, how was your section 2? Tell me in the comment box. So in the section 2, 3 questions here I have solved. The students who have the doubt, so I'll just share audio script to you. I'll just explain you again the audio script with the given question. So if you have some doubt, so it would be clear. Okay, let's get started. Good evening everyone, my name is this. So don't want to read the first one. Let's see the direct line. So why do we, I have just started with this. Okay, so why do we need to make these changes to the traffic system in the Grand Fort? Our first question. Well, we are very aware that the traffic is becoming increasing problem. Yeah. It has been especially noticeable with the increase in the heavy traffic while they have been building the new hospital, but its overall rise in the volume of traffic of all kind that's concerning us. To date, there's not been an increase in the traffic accidents, but that's not something we want to see happen obviously. So we have listened that. Okay, after listening this, let's see the options. The number of traffic accidents has risen. They have not talked about the number of accidents over here, but they have talked about the overall rise in the volume of traffic of all kind that concerning us. I mean that is the concerning us, that means that is a big problem. So the amount of traffics on the roads has increased, so the answer B is the most suitable one. So answer is B for the 11 number. Is this clear? Okay, let's see the next. Next, they have written, we recently carried out a survey of local residents and their responses were interesting. People were very concerned about the lack of visibility on some roads due to car park along the sides of the roads. So, what is a survey of local residents particularly complain about? Dangerous driving by parents? No, they have not talked about. Pollution from the truck and the lorries? No, they are not talking about pollution, but they are talking about the inconvenience from the parked cars that you have seen. Lack of visibility on some roads due to the car park along the sides of the road. Okay, so answer of 12th is what? C. C would be the most suitable. C is the answer. Right? Let's see the next number 13. 13th question is, according to the speaker, one problem with a new regulation. What is the problem for the new regulation? So we think this new traffic regulation would make a lot of difference, but we still have a long way to go. We managed to keep our proposal within a budget, so they can cover by the council. But of course, it's a no good introducing new regulation if we don't have a way of making sure that everyone obey them. Yeah, they're talking about the new regulation and make sure that everyone obeys them. So here what's the answer? B is the answer. Why? Because raising money to pay for them, that is not given. Getting the support from the police, they are not talking about the police. This they are focused on the finding a way to make people follow them. Obey and the follow, both are the synonym. So when you can find this kind of synonym together, that should be the answer. So answer is B for 13. So I hope that we have solved each and every question's doubt for you. Okay, 11, 12 and 30's answer would be B, C and B. Okay. Let's start with the next category. It's the map. So whenever you have the map, first you have to focus on such directions. So let's see the directions. Every time your right hand side is east, okay, your right hand side is east and your left hand side is west, upper one is north and the downward is south. So these basic directions we have to clear first, that every time your right hand side is east, left hand side is west, upper one is north and the downward is south. Okay, now we have to focus on the other location. If here A is written, okay, so if I want to locate the A, so I have to say A is located in which direction. So that is in east and south or southeast direction, because in between that southeast direction, so A is located in the southeast directions. Okay, now if B is written over here, okay, so what's the direction of B? B is located where? So B is located in the northeast direction or east north direction. If C is located here, fine. So what is the direction? It's a northwest or west north, fine. If D is located here, so what is the direction of D is located in the west south direction, okay, because here, or you can see the southwest direction. Okay, so basic fundamentals for the map is clear. Now you have to focus on the direction as well as certain left and right. Okay, let's start with the question first. The topic of the map is proposed traffic changes in the Granford city. So also they have given this that we have just discussed right now. If in the exam you don't have given the direction map, so you have to draw this map for your sake of knowledge, and keep in mind that with the help of this you can find the directions. Okay, afterwards which questions we have to solve? So let's see, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 14 to 20 questions are given, and A to A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. A to I, the locations are given in the map. Okay, so what you have to focus on, if new traffic light is situated nearby the school, so maybe G is the answer. So new traffic lights answer is G. Okay, so whatever the question is given, so questions keywords are given, those keywords you have to find in the listening audio track. Okay, and those keywords they have written in the alphabetical order in the map, so you don't have to write it down the exact idea, you have to write it down whether it is A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H or I. So let's start with the direction first. See the location over here, we have seen the two roads are here. One is the school road, another is the high street, so they are the roads, and another is the station road. Okay, three roads are given. Let's start with the A first. Nearby the station road you have A. Okay, so if in the audio they'll tell you, okay, A is located near the station road, so like for parking allow nearby the station road, so parking allow is our keyword, so your answer is A for the parking allow. Okay, so A is your parking allow, fine. Okay, now B is nearby the library. Okay, in front of library, if pedestrian crossing is there, so pedestrian crossing is equal to B. Got it? Okay, now where is C? C is nearby the bank, or you can say in the opposite side of C, I mean the high street, and also nearest to the chemist too. Okay, now D is located near chemist or opposite to the supermarket or nearby the high street. Okay, where is E located? E is located nearby the school road, fine. I is located nearby the supermarket. H is also located nearby the school road, and G is just opposite to the school, and F is nearby to the G, or it is on the school road way, F. Okay, so when you have the diagram, you have to just first see which are the informations are already given, so that you have to see first. When they'll give you 5 to 10 seconds time, at that time you have to just review the map, see the number of questions are given and what are the keywords for it. Okay, so let's see the keywords for it. First is the new traffic lights, pedestrian crossing, parking allow, no parking sign, new disabled parking spaces, widen pavement, and the lorry loading. Okay, so you have to keep in mind all these words when you are listening the audio track. Okay, so now I'll just play the recording. First you have to listen the audio track by yourself, try to do by yourself, and afterwards we'll discuss with the audio script.
Now listen and answer questions 14 to 20.
OK, so this slide shows a map of the central area of Granford with the High Street in the middle and School Road on the right. Now, we already have a set of traffic lights in the High Street at the junction with Station Road, but we're planning to have another set at the other end at the school road junction to regulate the flow of traffic along the high street. We've decided we definitely need a pedestrian crossing. We considered putting this on School Road just outside the school, but in the end we decided that could lead to a lot of traffic congestion. So we decided to locate it on the high street, crossing the road in front of the supermarket. That's a very busy area, so it should help things there. We're proposing some changes to parking. At present, parking isn't allowed on the high street outside the library, but we're going to change that and allow parking there, but not at the other end of the high street near School Road. There'll be a new no parking sign on School Road just by the entrance to the school, forbidding parking for 25 metres. This should improve visibility for drivers and pedestrians, especially on the bend just to the north of the school. As far as disabled drivers are concerned, at present they have parking outside the supermarket, but lorries also use those spaces, so we've got 2 new disabled parking spaces on the side road up towards the bank. It's not ideal, but probably better than the present arrangement. We also plan to widen the pavement on School Road. We think we can manage to get an extra half metre on the bend just before you get to the school, on the same side of the road. Finally, we've introduced new restrictions on loading and unloading for the supermarket, so lorries will only be allowed to stop there before 8 a.m. That's the supermarket on School Road. We kept to the existing arrangements with the High Street supermarket. OK, so that's about it. Now, would it...
That is the end of section 2. You now have half a minute to check your answers.
Okay, so everyone has solved the map now. Okay, so let's clear the doubts and as well we'll discuss the answers first. So let's start with the audio script over here. Okay, so this slide shows a map of the central area of the Grandford with the high street in the middle and the school road on the right. High street in the middle, okay, and the school road in the right. Fine. So earlier also we have focused on these roads, right? Okay, so now what they are talking, we already have a set of traffic lights. So traffic lights is our first keyword. Traffic lights in the high street at the junction with the station road. High street at the junction near to the station road, okay. But we are planning to have another set at the other hand at the school road junction. At the other hand at the school road junction. So what they have doing, they have tell you the one information and then they just tell you that this is the opposite to the other side of the road, so that is the school road, correct? So nearby the school road we have E, so 14's answer is what? E. Okay, got it? Let's see the next one. We are decided we definitely need a pedestrian crossing. Okay, so pedestrian crossing is my keyword over here. We consider putting this on the school road just outside the school, but in the end we decided that could lead a lot of traffic congestion, so we decided to locate it on the high street crossing the road in front of the supermarket. Initially they had something another idea and then they have changed the idea due to the traffic congestion. So after changing the idea, what happened, we decided to locate it on the high street. So where is the high street? Yes, this is the high street crossing the road in front of the supermarket. Crossing the road in front of the supermarket, we have D, correct? So our pedestrian crossings answer is what? D. Quite easy. Okay, let's see the next one. We are proposing some changes to parking. At present, parking isn't allowed on the high street outside the library, but we are going to change that and allow parking there. So what happened is nearby the high street, okay, outside the library, near the high street outside the library we have only B. So what they told you that initially we are going to change that and allow parking there. Initially they are not allowing, but now they are allow. So our answer of parking allow is B. Okay, so B is the answer. So see, you have just focused that in the listening over here in the audio script, they have changed that. Initially they have something, afterwards they have something. So if you listen it at the initial level and afterwards you stick mark the answer, then your answer will be wrong. So whatever the information exactly you have to listen till the end and then you have to decide the answer. Okay. Let's see for the question number 17. There will be a new parking sign on the school road just by the entrance to the school. Just by the entrance to the school, you have what? The new parking sign. So your 17th answer is what? G. So G is the right answer for new no parking sign. Okay. We have got two new disabled parking spaces on the side road map towards the bank. So towards the bank we have C. So the answer of new disabled space is what? C. Okay, let's see the next one. We also plan to widen the pavement on the school road. We think we can manage to get an extra half meter on the band just before you get to the school and on the same side of the road. So where it is located by the school road, that is H. Okay, that you have the extra half meter, that means extra half meter is the go straight and you have that extra half meter before just you get to the school on the same side of the road. So what is the same side of the road towards school? You have H. So answer of 19 is H. Your widened pavement is H. Now the last one is, we have introduced new restrictions on the loading. So loading, yes, lorry loading to for the supermarket. So lorries will only be allowed to stop there before 8 a.m. and there's a supermarket on the school road. So where is it? Supermarket is I. Already they have given the keyword, that is supermarket, and nearby supermarket you have I. So 20's answer is I. I hope that we have cleared all the doubts for the map. Just you have to focus on the directions and you have to focus on the left and right and you can correct the answers. Let's see the next category, that is MCQ, multiple choice question. One question is given, three options are given and you have to choose the one answer. Okay, but over here in the section 3 we have the group discussion as we have already discussed. So that's why MCQ is somehow challenging to you, because you have to focus on the number of speaker, how many speakers we have, the number of speaker and their opinion and their views. So let's start with the question number 21. Why is Jack interested in investigating the seed germination? So you have to focus on the seed germination investigation and what is the reason behind it. Okay, this is my question. So these two keywords you have to listen first. Don't see the option right now, but as we are discussing right now, so we'll just see the option first. He may do a module on related topic later on. Okay. He wants to have a career in the plant science. He is thinking of choosing this topic for his dissertation. Okay, so just write down main keyword plant science and the module on the related topic. Okay, so first when you are just listening that audio, at that time you have to just focus on the Jack and why he is interested in investigating the seed germination. If you find the exact reason, if you have listened it very carefully, you can crack the answer, right? So for cracking the answer you have to focus on three topic only: module related later on, the plant science, and the choosing the topic for his dissertation. Okay, so after listening this you can choose the appropriate answer. Let's do the next one, that is 22. The Jack and the Emma. Okay, so here new speaker is added, that is Emma. So now you have to focus on the two talks. Two speakers are going to talk about with each other. Jack and the Emma. Jack and the Emma agree the main advantage of their present experiment is that can be what? So Jack and Emma, both are the keywords, agree the main advantage of their present experiment is what? So to focus on what is their advantage for the present experiment. Describe very easily, carried out inside the laboratory or completed in the time availability. Okay, so easily is the keyword, lab is the keyword, and within time it's completed. Fine. Let's see the 23. What do they decide to check with their tutor? Okay, so now tutor is also added. So what they decide to check with their tutor? Let's see whether the aim is appropriate, whether anyone else has chosen the topic, whether the assignment contribute to their final grade or not. So you have to focus on the aim appropriate, topic chosen, and the final grade contributions. Okay. Now we'll focus on the 24. They agree that the Graves book on the seed germination is disappointing because why? Because that means you have to focus on the reason. So here Graves book is your keyword and seed germination is why it is disappointing. Okay, let's see the options. It fails to cover the recent advance in the seed science. So seed science, the content is irrelevant then, and it's focused very theoretically. So seed science is your keyword, content is irrelevant is the keyword, and the last is theoretical. Fine. So you have to just focus on the Graves book and the seed germination, why it is disappointing with the three options: seed science, content irrelevant, and the theoretical stuff. Let's see the question number 25. What does the Jack say about the article on the seed germination by the Lee Hall? So Lee Hall is your keyword, Jack is also the keyword, and article regarding seed germination. So what's the options we have? The diagrams of the plant developments are useful. Okay. The analysis of seed germination statics though, and the findings on the seed germination after fires are surprising. So fires is the keyword over here. Here is the plant development useful, and here the seed germination statics is thorough. Fine. So with the help of this option you can correct the answer. So again I'll tell you the tip of the MCQ is, first you have to just see the question, underline the keyword. Also you have to see the option and underline the keyword. But while listening that audio, just focus on the question keywords only. Try to focus on the question keyword. Definitely you'll crack the answer of all the MCQ from A, B and C. Okay, so I'll play the audio track for the MCQ. We'll solve the answers.
Section 3. You will hear two biology students called Emma and Jack discussing an experiment they are going to do together. First, you have some time to look at questions 21 to 25. Now listen carefully and answer questions 21 to 25.
We've got to choose a topic for our experiment, haven't we, Jack? Were you thinking of something to do with seeds?
That's right. I thought we could look at seed germination, how a seed begins to grow.
OK. Any particular reason? I know you're hoping to work in plant science eventually.
Yeah, but practically everything we do is going to feed into that. No, there's an optional module on seed structure and function in the third year that I might do. So I thought it might be useful for that. If I choose that option, I don't have to do a dissertation module.
Good idea.
Well, I thought for this experiment, we could look at the relationship between seed size and the way the seeds are planted. So we could plant different sized seeds in different ways and see which grow best.
OK. We'd need to allow time for the seeds to come up.
That should be fine if we start now. A lot of the other possible experiments need quite a bit longer.
So that'd make it a good one to choose. And I don't suppose it'd need much equipment. We're not doing chemical analysis or anything. Though that's not really an issue. We've got plenty of equipment in the laboratory.
Yeah, we need to have a word with the tutor if we're going to go ahead with it, though. I'm sure our aim's okay. It's not very ambitious, but the assignment's only 10% of our final mark, isn't it? But we need to be sure we're the only ones doing it.
Yeah, it's only 5% actually, but it'd be a bit boring if everyone was doing it.
Did you read that book on seed germination on our reading list?
The one by Graves? I looked through it for my last experiment, though it wasn't all that relevant there. It would be for this experiment, though. I found it quite hard to follow. Lots about the theory, which I hadn't expected.
Yes, I'd been hoping for something more practical. It does include references to the recent findings on genetically modified seeds, though.
Yes, that was interesting.
I read an article about seed germination by Lee Hall.
About seeds that lie in the ground for ages and only germinate after a fire.
That's the one. I knew a bit about it already, but not about this research. His analysis of figures comparing the times of the fires and the proportion of seeds that germinated was done in a lot of detail. Very impressive.
Was that the article with the illustrations of early stages of plant development? They were very clear.
I think those diagrams were in another article.
Okay, so you have solved the MCQ that is given in the section 3 for the group discussion. How was it? Please do comments in the comment box. Let's solve the question with the audio script and we'll share the answers to you. So let's see for the question number 21. As we have discussed, we have to just focus on the why is Jack interested in the investigating the seed germination. So here you can see in the bold line there is an optional module on the seed structure and the function in the third year that I might do, so I though it might be useful for it. Okay, again we'll read it. There's an optional module. So module, yes, I have talked to you that module is the keyword. So if you just heard the module at that time, just tick mark the A. And also module is quite useful, so he do a module on related topic later on. Also they have written that I might do, so thought it might be useful that. So the answer is A. Okay, fine. Let's see for the 22. 22, what we have discussed, that for Jack and Emma have to focus on the two speakers, the Jack and the Emma, as well as the main advantage of their present experiment can be. So you have seen over here, we would need to allow time for the seeds to come up. Okay, so that should be fine if start now. A lot of other possible experiment need to quite a bit longer. Okay, so describe easily, laboratory and time available. So here they are talking about the time availability because it will take a long time, that means quite a bit longer, so it is related to the time. So my answer of 22nd is C. Okay, let's see the 23. What do they decide to check with their tutor? Okay, so the tutor one be, yeah, we need to have a word with the tutor if we are going to go ahead with though, and I'm sure our aim is okay. It is not very ambitious, but the assignment's only 10% of our final marks, isn't it? We need to be sure we are the only one doing it. Here also we have focused that aim is appropriate, anyone else doing topic and the final grade. So here what they have written in the last, we need to be sure we are the only one doing it. That means your answer is B, whether anyone else has chosen this topic or not. So what you have focused now, like in the audio script what they are talking, but in the question they have done the same sentence paraphrasing, right? They are not giving the exact answer because this is not fill in the blank or the table kind of the flow chart kind of question answers. These are the MCQs. So in the MCQ you can feel the question whatever they have written, I mean the options they have given in the MCQ, but in the listening, that means in the audio script whatever the sentence we got, you can see the paraphrasing of the sentence, right? Let's see the question number 24. So in the 24, what we have discussed earlier, that we have to focus on the Graves book and the seed germinations is disappointing because we have to focus on the reason. So the one by Graves, I looked through it for my last experiment, though it wasn't all the relevant there. It would be for this experiment, though I found it quite hard to follow and lots about their theory which I hadn't expected. So just I have to focus on the theory and I'll get my answer. Its focus is very theoretical. As we have discussed that you have to focus on the three things over here: seed science, okay, the content irrelevant, and the theoretical. So here they are talking about lots about the theory that equal to the theoretical. So my answer is what? C. Let's see the 25 numbers answer. In the 25, what we have to focus? Why Jack say about the article on the seed germination by the Lee Hall. So his analysis of the figures comparing the times of the fires and the proportion of the seed that germinated was done in a lot of detail. Very impressive. Okay. So here I have to focus on the plant development useful. No, they are not talking about the plant development. Analysis of the seed germination statistics is thorough, that means in detail, very impressive. Okay, that will got out here. So our answer of 25 is B. Let's see the next question type, that is flowchart. Okay, in the flowchart the instructions are given, that is in the order. So if you can find the one answer in the listening, you can correlate it with the each other's answer. Okay, so let's see which kind of category they have given over here. Question 26 to 30 they have given, and for 26 to 30 you have to solve from A to H. So the list of words are given, whatever the answer should be. If you hear the condition, so you don't want to write condition as in your answer, but your answer is C. Sorry, answer is D, because D is equal to condition, so answer is D. Like the example, depth is the answer, so you don't want to write depth, I have to write H. Okay, fine. Now let's see the topic name, stages in the experiment. Let's see the first one. Select seeds of different dash and the size. Different dash and the size. Okay, so let's discuss some grammatical rules. The rule number 1 for the and is, when and is given, okay, and before and you have a blank, so you have to focus on the after and which word they have used. So they have used what? Size. So whatever the answer in the blank, that is correlated with the size. That means select seeds of different dash and the size. So in the dash, whatever the answer should be, that is related to the size, or they have done the same comparison of the size and something. So they have the same properties. Okay, fine. Let's see the next. Measure and record the dash and the size of each one. So again the same thing, when you have and, you have to focus on whatever the answer it is, whatever the answer they have given after and, that is correlated with the each other in the before blank. Decide on the dash to be used. Decide on what to be used. What to be used, that means in what you have to focus on noun. Noun may be any person name, any object name, any topic name, like the example, any animal name, bird name, anything. Okay, so you have to focus on the noun to be used. Use a different dash for each seed and label it. Use a different what for each seed. Again, you have to focus on the noun. After about 3 weeks, record the plant's dash. Record plant's growth, record plant height, record the plant's development. Okay, so plants what? I have to focus on the adjective here, because already plant is a noun. Okay, plant is a noun. So plants what? What is an additional, you can say the extra word related to the plant, I have to shown in the answer of 30. So in the 30 you have to focus on the adjective. Okay, fine. Last is the investigate the findings. So whatever the keywords we have discussed and whatever the grammatical rules we have discussed, that you have to keep in mind for the listening. So I'll play the listening audio for the 26 to 30 flowchart, and then we'll solve the answers together.
Now listen and answer questions 26 to 30.
Anyway, shall we have a look at the procedure for our experiment? We'll need to get going with it quite soon.
Right. So the first thing we have to do is find our seeds. I think vegetable seeds would be best, and obviously they mustn't all be the same size. So how many sorts do we need? About 4 different ones?
I think that would be enough. There'll be quite a large number of seeds for each one.
Then for each seed we need to find out how much it weighs and also measure its dimensions, and we need to keep a careful record of all that.
That'll be quite time-consuming, and we also need to decide how deep we're going to plant the seeds, right on the surface a few millimetres down or several centimetres.
OK, so then we get planting. Do you think we can plant several seeds together in the same plant pot?
No, I think we need a different one for each seed.
Right. And we'll need to label them. We can use different coloured labels. Then we wait for the seeds to germinate. I reckon that'll be about 3 weeks, depending on what the weather's like. Then we see if our plants have come up and write down how tall they've grown.
Then all we have to do is look at our numbers and see if there's any relation between them.
That's right. So then we get...
That is the end of section 3. You now have half a minute to check your answers. Now turn to section 4.
We've got to choose a topic for our experiment, haven't we, Jack? Were you thinking of something to do with seeds?
That's right. I thought we could look at seed germination, how a seed begins to grow.
OK. Any particular reason? I know you're hoping to work in plant science eventually.
Yeah, but practically everything we do is going to feed into that. No, there's an optional module on seed structure and function in the 3rd year that I might do. So I thought it might be useful for that. If I choose that option, I don't have to do a dissertation module.
Good idea.
Well, I thought for this experiment we could look at the relationship between seed size and the way the seeds are planted. So we could plant different sized seeds in different ways and see which grow best.
OK. We'd need to allow time for the seeds to come up.
That should be fine if we start now. A lot of the other possible experiments need quite a bit longer.
So that'd make it a good one to choose. And I don't suppose it'd need much equipment. We're not doing chemical analysis or anything. Though that's not really an issue. We've got plenty of equipment in the laboratory.
Yeah, we need to have a word with the tutor if we're going to go ahead with it, though. I'm sure our aim's OK. It's not very ambitious, but the assignment's only 10% of our final mark, isn't it? But we need to be sure we're the only ones doing it.
Yeah, it's only 5% actually, but it'd be a bit boring if everyone was doing it.
Did you read that book on seed germination on our reading list?
The one by Graves? I looked through it for my last experiment, though it wasn't all that relevant there. It would be for this experiment, though. I found it quite hard to follow. Lots about the theory, which I hadn't expected.
Yes, I'd been hoping for something more practical. It does include references to the recent findings on genetically modified seeds, though.
Yes, that was interesting.
I read an article about seed germination by Lee Hall.
About seeds that lie in the ground for ages and only germinate after a fire.
That's the one. I knew a bit about it already, but not about this research. His analysis of figures comparing the times of the fires and the proportion of seeds that germinated was done in a lot of detail. Very impressive.
Was that the article with the illustrations of early stages of plant development? They were very clear.
I think those diagrams were in another article.
Anyway, shall we have a look at the procedure for our experiment? We'll need to get going with it quite soon.
Right. So the first thing we have to do is find our seeds. I think vegetable seeds would be best, and obviously they mustn't all be the same size. So how many sorts do we need? About 4 different ones?
I think that would be enough. There'll be quite a large number of seeds for each one.
Then for each seed we need to find out how much it weighs and also measure its dimensions, and we need to keep a careful record of all that.
That'll be quite time-consuming, and we also need to decide how deep we're going to plant the seeds, right on the surface a few millimetres down or several centimetres.
OK, so then we get planting. Do you think we can plant several seeds together in the same plant pot?
No, I think we need a different one for each seed.
Right. And we'll need to label them. We can use different coloured labels. Then we wait for the seeds to germinate. I reckon that'll be about 3 weeks, depending on what the weather's like. Then we see if our plants have come up and write down how tall they've grown.
Then all we have to do is look at our numbers and see if there's any relation between them.
That's right. So then we get...
Yes, how was your flowchart experience? Please share me in the comment box. Let's discuss the flowchart's answers, and we'll discuss with the audio script. So we have seen the list of words, okay, and we have also discussed the which things we have to keep in mind. Let's see the line for the 26 number. So how many sorts do we need? About 4 different ones. So in this 26 we have to focus select seeds of different dash and the size. So dash and the size, how many sorts do we need? Sorts, S-O-R-T-S. So you cannot find the direct sorts in this. Related to the sort you have to find the word. So sort is equal to container? No. Sort is equal to soil? No. Sort is equal to weight? No. Sort is equal to condition? No. Sort and height same? No. Sort and color? No. Sort and type? Yes. Sort and type. Depth is not equal to sort. So sorts do we need? So types do we need? So our answer of 26 is types, that is your G. Okay. Totally paraphrasing, totally direct, not they have given the word actually. So this is somehow challenging. So this kind of thing you can experience in the section number 3 and section number 4. Okay. Let's see for the question number 27. Then for each seed we need to find out how much it weight and also measure the dimensions, and we need to keep a careful record for it. Okay. So measure a record of dash the size and the size of each one. The size is already given over here, and the measures in the dimension, that means size. Measures in the dimension, that means size. Okay. Before that and is written, and before and what they have given, weight. So is the weight is the answer? So weight is written somewhere? Yes, in the C weight is written. So answer of 27 is C. Let's see the 28 number. What's the line we have? And also we need to decide how deep we are going to plant the seeds. So deep is the answer. So can we find the deep? No, but we have seen depth. So your 28th answer is depth. So they have just changed the verb, noun and the adjective too. Okay, so you have to focus on everything. Grammatical rules, paraphrasings and everything. Okay, let's see the question number 29. Do you think we can plant several seeds together in the same plant pot? So use a different dash for each seed and the label it. Okay. So the same plant pot is the answer. So can you find the same plant pot? Oh yeah, container. Container is equal to pot. Okay, because the other words we have used and the others is not match with the answer. So pot is the answer. So 29's answer is container, your plant pot. Okay, what is the answer of 30? Then we see if our plants have come up and write down how tall they have grown. So tall they have grown is the answer. Related to tall, you can find any yeah, height. Okay, so 30's answer is what? Height. So you have seen that how they have given the answers. Initially in the MCQ they have paraphrasing the sentences. Over here they have changed the noun, adjective, and they have given the synonyms also. So when you are listening that audio script, make sure you have to listen it very carefully and you have to choose answer from the given list of words. Okay. Let's see the section number 4. The next question type is fill in the blanks. Let's see what's the instruction they have given to us. That is, write your answer within one word only. Number is not allowed, only one word is allowed. Okay. In the section 4, we have monologue. That means there is only one speaker who is going to talk about only one topic that is related to the academic topic. So over here they are talking about effects of urban environments on the animals. So this is the topic name. Let's see the introduction first. Introduction. Recent urban developments represent massive environmental charges. It was previously thought that only a few animals were suitable for the city life. Example, the dash because of its general adaptability. So I have to focus on which kind of animal or which kind of animal species have that general adaptability. Okay, to survive in the massive environmental changes. Got my point? So I have to just focus on the name of that species, the name of the animal species. Fine. In the 31, within one word only. The pigeon because walls of city buildings are similar to dash. So for the pigeons they are talking about because walls, why pigeons are suitable, because walls of the city buildings are similar to dash. What they think that the wall of the city buildings are similar to trees, are similar to forest, are similar to what for the pigeon. So in the 32 I have to focus on this. In fact many urban animals are adapting with the unusual dash. So here unusual is written. In fact many urban animals are adapting with the unusual dash. So again you have to focus on the other animals, why they are adapting this and they are unusual, right? Now next we have to focus on the recent research for the next questions number 34 and 35. For 34, what they have given, the Emily studied the small urbanized mammal specimens from the museums in this area. She found the size of their dash had increased. She found the size of their what? Size of their body, size of their structure, size of their brain, size of what has increased, right? She suggested that maybe due to the need to locate the new resources of dash and to deal with the new dangers. Okay, she suggested that this is maybe due to the need to locate the new resources of dash. Locate the new resources of what? Focus on the noun and the deal with the new dangers. Now the next is the Miranda focus on the dash of the urban and rural blackbirds. So I have to just focus on the Miranda that focus on dash of urban and the rural blackbirds. So urban and the rural blackbirds, these two are keywords. Fine. Now the next we have to focus on the Jonathan. Jonathan studies what? He found that some animals respond to dash by producing lower level of hormones. So, have to focus on the lower level of hormones. This is our keyword, and they respond to dash. There is the animals respond to dash by producing. So they respond to what? Okay, so to focus on this for the lower levels of hormones, let's say the 39 who studied. Sarah studied that team found urban squirrels, okay, the squirrels is the keyword, use their dash to help them to communicate. So squirrels use their tail, use their ear, use their eyes. I mean, what squirrels use their dash to help for the communication. Fine. The last one is for the long term possibilities. The species of the animals may develop which are unique to the cities. So, however, some changes may not be dash. So, some species of the animals may develop which are unique to the cities, but however, some changes may not to be. So, here you have to focus on the negative one. Some changes may not to be dash. So, here you can write the answers for the negative. Okay, so we have discussed how to solve the fill in the blanks. We have underlined the keywords that you have to keep in mind. Now let's listen the audio and just try to focus on the listening keywords as well as the given description.
Hi. Today we're going to be looking at animals in urban environments. And I'm going to be telling you about some research on how they're affected by these environments. Now, in evolutionary terms, urban environments represent huge upheavals, the sorts of massive changes that usually happen over millions of years. And we used to think that only a few species could adapt to this new environment. One species which is well known as being highly adaptable is the crow, and there have been various studies about how they manage to learn new skills. Another successful species is the pigeon, because they're able to perch on ledges on the walls of city buildings, just like they once perched on cliffs by the sea. But, in fact, we're now finding that these early immigrants were just the start of a more general movement of animals into cities, and of adaptation by these animals to city life. And one thing that researchers are finding especially interesting is the speed with which they're doing this. We're not talking about gradual evolution here. These animals are changing fast. Let me tell you about some of the studies that have been carried out in this area. So, in the University of Minnesota, a biologist called Emily Snellrud and her colleagues looked at specimens of urbanized small mammals such as mice and gophers that had been collected in Minnesota and that are now kept in museums there. And she looked at specimens that had been collected over the last 100 years, which is a very short time in evolutionary terms. And she found that during that time, these small mammals had experienced a jump in brain size when compared to rural mammals. Now, we can't be sure this means they're more intelligent, but since the sizes of other parts of the body didn't change, it does suggest that something cognitive was going on. And Snellrud thinks that this change might reflect the cognitive demands of adjusting to city life, having to look in different places to find food, for example, and coping with a whole new set of dangers. Then over in Germany, at the Max Planck Institute, there's another biologist called Katharina Miranda, who's done some experiments with blackbirds living in urban and rural areas. And she's been looking not at their anatomy, but at their behavior. So, as you might expect, she's found that the urban blackbirds tend to be quite bold. They're prepared to face up to a lot of threats that would frighten away their country counterparts. But there's one type of situation that does seem to frighten the urban blackbirds, and that's anything new, anything they haven't experienced before. And if you think about it, that's quite sensible for a bird living in the city. Jonathan Atwell, in Indiana University, is looking at how a range of animals respond to urban environments. He's found that when they're under stress, their endocrine systems react by reducing the amount of hormones such as corticosterone into their blood. It's a sensible-seeming adaptation. A rat that gets scared every time a subway train rolls past won't be very successful. There's just one more study I'd like to mention, which is by Sarah Parton and her team. And they've been looking at how squirrels communicate in an urban environment. And they've found that a routine part of their communication is carried out by waving their tails. You do also see this in the country, but it's much more prevalent in cities, possibly because it's effective in a noisy environment. So, what are the long-term implications of this? One possibility is that we may see completely new species developing in cities. But on the other hand, it's possible that not all of these adaptations will be permanent. Once the animals got accustomed to its new environment, it may no longer need the features it's developed. So now we've had a look at adaptation.
So you have listened to section 4's audio. How was it? Please do comments. Let's see the answers of the section 4 and let's discuss how to solve it. So for this number 31, you have to focus on the general adaptability of an animal or the name of the person. So here they have written that one species which is well known as being highly adaptable is the crow. So crow is the answer, right? For 31. Okay. For 32, you have to focus on the pigeon. Okay, they feel the wall of the city of buildings are similar to what? So pigeons, because they are able to perch on the ledges on the wall of city buildings, just like they once perch on cliff by the sea. Buildings is equal to the cliff by the sea. So only one word I have to write. So only cliff is the answer for 32. Both are easy, right? Let's see the 33. In fact, many urban animals are adapting with the unusual. So one thing that researchers are finding especially interesting is the speed which they are doing. We are not talking about the gradually evolution here. These animals are changing fast. So changing fast means they are adapting with the unusual. So what they are doing? The speed. The especially interesting the speed. So answer of 33 is what? Speed. Let's see the 34. The Emily found the size of their dash has increased. So she found that during the time a small mammal had experienced a jump in the brain size. Okay. So brain size when compared to the rural mammals. So what is increased? The brain size. So size is already written. I mean size of their. So size of their brain. So answer of 34 is brain. Let's see the 35 question number. In the 35, what we have to focus on, that Emily suggests that this may due to the need of locate new resources of dash and deal with the new dangers. So new resources and the new dangers both have a keywords. So let's see here that Snell wrote thinks that the change might reflect the cognitive demands of adjusting to the city life, having to look in the different places to find food. For example, coping with a whole new set of dangers. So as two words we have found it out, set of dangers on the different places to find the food. Yes. So for 35, our answer is what? Food. Because to locate new resources is equal to look in the different places, and the deal with that new danger, that is directly given. So answer is food. Okay. Let's see the next number 36. The Miranda focus on the dash of urban and the rural blackbirds. So Miranda and the blackbirds both are the keywords that you have to listen. Okay. So yes, you have focus on that and you have cracked the right answer as we think. Let's see what the audio script is given. Miranda, who done the experiment with the blackbirds living in the urban and the rural areas, and she's been looking not at their anatomy but at their behavior. Okay, so what do you think? What's the answer? Answer is the behavior, because she is not she's been looking not at their anatomy but at their behavior. So my answer of 36 is behavior. Let's say the 37 number. She found urban birds were often braver but were afraid of situations that were dash. So brave and the afraid of situations, this is your keyword. So he found that when they are under the stress, their endocrine system react by reducing the amount of hormones such as the correspond into the blood. So reduce the amount of hormones is equal to the whatever the information given in the question. So what under the stress this happen? So stress is the answer of what? 38. Like the next number is, okay, we have also read the 38 answer. We'll just focus on the 37. Just a minute. Initially, we have to focus on the brave bird and the afraid of situations, right? For the 37. So I have to read this line. One type of situation that does seem to be frighten the urban blackbirds, and that anything new, anything they haven't experienced before. So answer of 37 is new because they have to experience something new before. So answer of 37 is new. Earlier I have discussed the 38, so let's discuss the 38 again. He found that some animals respond to dash by producing the lower levels of hormones. So I have to focus on the Jonathan is my keyword, and also focus on the lower level of hormones. So as we have just discussed, the stress is the answer. 37's answer is new and 38's answer is stress. Now I have to focus on the squirrel and the Sarah's research. So squirrel communicate is an urban environment, and they have found the routine part of their communication is carried by waving their tail. So what the tail is the answer for 39. Let's say the 41. 41 you have to focus on the negation, that the one possibility is that we may see the completely new species developing in the cities, but on the other hand it's possible that not only of this adaptation will be permanent. So not this adaptation may be permanent, I mean will be permanent. So not permanent, so not is already written, so permanent is the answer for 40 number. Okay, so in this way we have solved the section 4, all 10 questions. So here what you have to focus on the speed as well, because only one speaker is going to talk about one topic. So the speed you can feel will compare with the section 1 and 2 and 3, which is fast. So focus on the speed. Okay, focus on the keywords that you have underlined and just try to catch the correct answers. Here I have seen the answer key of the listening test. We have taken this test from the Cambridge 13 test 1, okay, academic. So this test for whole answers from 1 to 40 we have discussed, whatever we have discussed, 1 to 40 we have written. So if you want to solve this test at one stretch, you can solve it and just check your answers over here. Thank you so much everyone to watching this video. I would just like to tell you, just don't forget to like, comment and share this video. Thank you so much.